Today we're going to be working on the 2021 Honda Passport. So today's job is going to consist of swapping out the rotors and brake pads on this Honda Passport. One of the reasons I'm doing that, it is because whenever I go to apply the brakes, I'm starting to feel the steering wheel shake a little bit and also the brake pedal pulsate. So that's usually a sign that the rotors are warped or you have uneven brake pads. In this scenario, I believe it's the rotors that warped. I've taken it to the dealership before whenever it had 10,000 miles and they resurfaced the rotors, and then I took it back whenever it had 20,000 miles. They did the same thing. Now the car has 30,000 miles and it's out of warranty now. So this car is pretty much 5 years old. I'm gonna go ahead and just put new rotors, new brake pads. So I ended up picking up these Duralast gold rotors and brake pads. I've kind of gone back and forth. Some people say they like them, some people don't. But the good thing is these have 3-year warranty and the brake pads have a lifetime warranty. The other reason why I went with the AutoZone rotors is because, like I said, they have 3-year warranty. And if these were to warp, as long as I'm within that 3-year period, I should be able to get these swapped out. That's what I've done in the past with other vehicles. So I actually ended up picking these up for a really good price. In total, I think I spent $200 for the gold rotors and for their, I guess, top tier brake pads. And there was actually an error on their end, and I ended up getting these a lot cheaper than what I was expecting to pay. So all in all, I spent about like $200 for all of this. And then I picked up some other stuff too. This impact driver set. This is just to get the Phillips screwdriver that's holding the rotor in. Sometimes those can be a pain to get off. But I picked this up just to make it a little bit easier. And then also some brake lubricant. And there might be some other tools I might need to use during the process, such as this. This will push the brake pad back in. If that doesn't work, then I got this right here. This can help me out as well. All right, so this should be a pretty straightforward process. I'll start off by taking off the wheel, and then we'll start taking off some bolts, and I'll document all that. All right, now that we got the wheel off, we can then start disassembling some of the stuff here. All right, so the brake caliper is held in place by 2 bolts. There's one right here, and then another one on the other side down there. Okay, and to get that off, you're gonna use a 19 millimeter. And I'm gonna try to take it off with my impact. And then once we have the brake caliper off, we're gonna wanna sit this down on something and make sure that the brake line is not being pulled on. All right, next up, I think I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. That way I can free up this brake line a little bit more. Up or around. All right, so let's look at the brake pads right here. Yeah, I mean, these brake pads still have a ton of life, in my opinion. The problem I'm having, I think, is really being caused by the rotor. All right, so let's go ahead and get these out. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and just swap them out, put in the new brake pads, and I'm gonna just hold on to these for whenever the time comes, if I ever need to use them again. All right, let's just push this out. Now there are some clips in here. They're actually down here at the bottom, but we'll worry about those later on. Just try not to break anything. All right, now the good thing is the new brake pads that I bought, they come with all new hardware. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this one in here. What I'm gonna try to do is try to push the pistons in just a little bit more. That way I get a little bit more clearance whenever I put the new rotor on and put the new brake pads in. All right, so I'm gonna use this C-clamp here. Like I said, I'm just trying to push this in a little bit. Oh, I guess one thing we'll need to do, let's go up here. All All right, before I push the pistons back in, I do need to come and look at the brake fluid reservoir. So as you push the pistons in, the fluid will start to come up. Just make sure it doesn't overflow. So just keep an eye on this. Now I'm pushing the other piston in. All right, now that I pushed the piston in a bit, yeah, I can definitely see that the fluid rose here inside the reservoir. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take some out just to be on the safe side. And once I'm done with the brake job, I'll come back, I'll inspect this, and if I need to add more fluid, I will. All right. Okay. That out. All right, so I think we're done with this for now. I'll come back and clean this up. But next thing is trying to get this rotor off. All right, now to get this screw off, so be very careful with these strip off real easy. I'm going to be using a number 3 Phillips screw bit and this hand impact to get this off. I definitely recommend getting a tool like this. Big lifesaver. All right, so when putting the new rotor on, again, we're gonna use the same Phillips screw. That's if you haven't stripped it. You pretty much screw the rotor back and hold it in place. There's the opening right there. And here's the opening on the rotor. All right, I am gonna use a little bit of Loctite on this screw. Blue Loctite. That's it, that's all you really need. All right, so coming back to the caliper, we have to take off the old hardware and put on the new hardware that came with the brake pads I bought. And also clean up in here and make sure everything is as clean as possible. Remove all the dirt, grime, so that way everything sits properly. All right, so this one came out. All right, there we go. And just remember the orientation, how these went. All right, so let me get the other one out. Next, I'm just gonna clean, like I said, in here. Okay, so I'm done cleaning this part where the hardware sits, so let me go ahead and put the new hardware in. So the hardware's in, we're gonna go ahead and put the brake pads in. So the one that has, I guess, this tab sticking out, that's the one that's gonna go closer to the pistons. And so what you're gonna wanna do, if you have any sort of lubricant, is go ahead and apply that. I tend to put lubricant right here on the edge, or I guess on these ears here, on the back side of the pad as well. And then, you know, I'll put a little bit of extra lubricant right here as well on the hardware. All right, brake pads are in on both sides. And next thing is to go ahead and put the caliper back on. We're gonna put the bolts back in, and then we'll worry about putting the, I guess, these clips afterward. I am gonna use Loctite on these bolts here. Now that I got those bolts in, the top one and the bottom one, I need to torque them down. Those need to be torqued to 100, I guess 101 foot-pounds, which is that value right there. 137 Newton meters or 101 foot-pounds. And then I also double checked here, which is right there. All right, so let me go ahead and get that torqued down. Then we'll move on to putting the clips back in. All right, so to put those clips in, we need to loosen these, I guess, slider pin bolts. So I'm gonna completely take off the one up here, but then just loosen the one down there. That way this piece right here can swing down and we can put these new pieces in. Using a 14mm socket and a 19mm wrench as well. So the 19mm is going to go on this side. All right, so with the caliper resting like this, we can now put those clips in. There's a hole right there and then one on the other side. So let's see. All right, so that one's in. And then I might be able to reach and put the clip in on the other side. If I'm not able to, or if you're not able to, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and put the caliper back up here, put the bolt in on this side, and then take the bolt out from the bottom side, allowing the caliper to swing out this way. And then you can go ahead and put this clip, whatever you want to call it, back in. I got both of these in there. This is how it should look like. And so now I will go ahead and put this bolt back in. According to the bolt torque specs, this one should be torqued down to 37 foot-pounds, and double check over here. Yep, 37 right there. I am going to use a little bit of Loctite whenever I put this bolt back in, and then same thing with the bottom one down there. Now whenever you're tying these up and torquing them down, like I said, you're going to want to put a 19mm wrench on this end just to hold this in place. Otherwise, as you're trying to torque this bolt down, this piece is just going to keep spinning. All right, and then finally go ahead and put this bolt back in to hold this brake line there, and then put the wheel back on, torque down the lug nuts, and you should be good to go. This might be a good time to also bleed your brakes. I'm not going to do that, or I'm not going to show it in this video, but I am going to be doing the other side. Same thing, installing a new rotor and brake pads. It's always recommended to do both sides. And once I got the car back on the floor, before I even take it on a test drive, I am going to make sure that I have enough brake fluid and take it out for a spin, and hopefully new rotors and brake pads should fix the issue I'm having with the steering wheel shaking and the brake pedal pulsating. All right, so for this vehicle, 94 foot-pounds for the wheels, for the lug nuts, and I already got the car back on the floor. But let's go ahead and pump the brakes. Okay, that feels good. So should be good to go ahead and take the car out for a drive. All right, that's it, guys. I just got done bedding in the brakes. I just went to the AutoZone website, follow their procedure outline on their page. The brakes feel really good, and steering wheel doesn't shake, and brake pedal doesn't pulsate whenever I brake. So overall, pretty happy with this. Catch you guys on the next one.